Hello there everybody, my name is Michael. Let's continue playing Dark Souls 1. I love this game. We're at the bottom of Firelink Shrine of the New Alondo Ruins, and we're going to take the secret way through. Let's go through this door here. Usually this would be locked without the master key. Sorry about that motorcycle in the background if you can hear that. So inconsiderate. Okay, now this is the place to Blight Town, which was referred to by our friend, the crestfallen warrior, as being plague-ridden. We don't need to go down there just yet. There are some cool weapons down there, but really I think only if you're a strength character, which we are not, so we're going to wait before going down there. Whatever kind of build you want, this is what you want to do on your first run-through here. Because this will take us to a blacksmith that will be able to upgrade our weapons, and that is vitally important at this stage in the game. If we can get our weapons up, and we really just have to grind out the souls to buy the upgrade materials for that, then we can be leagues ahead of anybody else. Oh my dear sweet lord, what are you? Let me take a look here. This looks like a dead dragon, and indeed it is, but I think you all know where this is going. He does not look like a background item. He is part of this world, and if you screw around with him a little too much, he will attack and probably kill you. You'll notice there are a bunch of items here. This is a soul item. I think Proud Knight gives us 2,000 or 3,000 souls. And if you want to just run by him and not even risk waking him up, you can go in this hidden little step here. I don't know the purpose of this really, because I mean, it's so hard to spot. I never noticed it on my first way through. But if you want to just run up there, you can get by him that way. The next area we're going into is called the Valley of Drakes, and there are indeed quite a few dragons there. However, we will just be running by them. There's really no point in trying to fight them, especially at this point. If you get either of those two items, or even go near them, I think, you'll wake him up. And we'll probably die, but I'm going to make an attempt at it anyway. I believe the left one, maybe was it the right one? The right one is a shield we want. Let's try. Yes, it is. It was the right one. Yep, dead. Shit. I'm just going to cut back to here. Okay. The dragon is going to be awake from this point on and will attack you. And you may have not noticed it at the very end there because it was kind of in black and white. But he attacks by puking on us. That's really unique. More than a few games from Japan I've seen puking as a method of attack. Wow. That's quite... I mean, they're one of the dominant cultures on Earth. I mean, you know that, right? The Japanese. I can remember in Gone Home? No, not Gone Home. What am I saying? What is the name of that? Oh, God. What is the name of that game on the Famicom that was Sweet Home? Gone Home? What am I saying? Bullcrap! Where did that damage come from? Bullcrap. There's some humanity in here. I may die, but it doesn't matter. Just gonna cut back. It's not really worth getting that humanity. I just wanted to show it to you. You may have also noticed the dragons use lightning to attack, not fire. That's another unique thing. I like that. Okay. I hadn't banked on dying so many times this early. Usually I probably wouldn't have even woken up that dragon that quickly. Although the shield I got is excellent. It is a great shield. It is not just a good shield. It is one you can use your entire game. Now, these dragons are too tough for us to fight right now. So, I mean, really don't even bother. Just try to run past them. There is a place we can get to. It's very hard to block that lightning, if I remember correctly. Just head up here. And we have another elevator. And soon we'll get to a bonfire, and then we will be meeting our first Black Knight. Now, if you remember the first episode, Lord Gwyn is the king of the gods and the most powerful of all the lords. And what Lord Gwyn did when he led the armies against the dragons and destroyed their world and created the Age of the Gods, he had an army of knights with him. And what this army of knights did later on cursed them. Well, not cursed exactly, but how should I put it? His knights marched in to fight demons, to fight against the pyromancers, to fight fire, and were eventually charred and blackened by doing so, and became the Black Knights. And they haunt Lordran. And they are very tough enemies, they are very strong, and they are... How many of them are there? Is it 4 or 5 of them in this first part of the game? I'm not sure about that. I know there's 3 very quickly. But there's a Black Knight immediately to our right outside of this door who has a very powerful weapon. One of the best weapons in the game. And I'm going to make an attempt to kill him. And that is probably not a great idea. But I will try. He has a weapon. I'm probably not going to be able to block this first one because he does the fancy one. 10 damage. Wow. Okay. That's not what I was hoping for. See, I'm kind of trying to... You see you kick someone when you backstab them. You can kind of use that to kind of knock someone off an edge sometimes. These guys are big, tough, and they actually are one of the few enemies in the game that do not respawn, which says something to their uniqueness. Their shield is also excellent, too. The Black Knight shield. It's kind of heavy, but it's pretty damn good. Unfortunately, the drop rate on that is pretty rare. That weapon he's using is called the Black Knight Halberd, and it's just a magnificent weapon. I mean, I promise it's not usually this easy to backstab these guys. I'm just getting lucky. But that Black Knight Halberd is great. If you can get that as a drop on this first go-through, you are a truly lucky man. Well, not that lucky, because it happens, it's not terribly infrequent. It actually happened to me on my last couple of playthroughs. But that weapon is one of the best weapons in the game, and you can upgrade it fairly quickly if you get lucky again. Trying to live commentate and fight an enemy is not easy. Let me tell you. Sorry about that. There we go. Tragically, we got Jack Dick from that. The blue Titanite chunk is how you upgrade some magic weapons, so we don't really need to use that. The weapon I'm using now is the Dragon Crest Shield. It looks cool, its weight is good at 3, it has an 85% fire damage reduction, crummy magic reduction, but 100% physical, only 10 strength to use. This is a great use your entire playthrough weapon, and I mean that. You can use that weapon your whole playthrough, and you'll be fine. You'll be great. Now, I'm not saying you should, necessarily, and you can advance it, you can change it, but I've used that weapon for whole playthroughs, and that never really steered me wrong. Alrighty, now that way is a very interesting ring, but I think I want to upgrade my weapon before heading down there. Let's pop up here, and we can get, I think by going over here, a longbow. Yes, we can. We have what's known, I think it's called the Hunter's set in Dark Souls 2. And in this one, it is I think just the leather set. In fact, I don't really remember if it's called the Hunter's set there. And I don't think the set looks very good, so I don't use it. But it's not bad. Not a bad set by any means. Now, up here, we have our first Titanite bug. Those nasty little lizard guys. There he is. Can we kill him? The drops are randomized, but I've gotten Twinkling Titanite from this guy a lot. Yeah, if I had gotten the Black Knight Halberd, I can use that to upgrade with Twinkling Titanite, and I would have gotten a hell of a lot of good stuff from that. I made a +2 Black Knight Halberd, and there's another place you can get some Twinkling Titanite from another Crystal Lizard early on, but that's for another time. We are in the Darkroot Garden now. Let's not go right for the first. Let's go left. And it's an Ent, or a Horn, or some sort of relation of Treebeard, I guess. And this guy's actually fairly tough. You see, it's taken quite a bit. And there's a friend of his behind him. I think I will remember the better part of Valor is discretion and just run away. Then we're going to break right, and I don't believe those guys can follow us into here, because there's a very large, very nasty monster right there called a Titanite Demon. This thing is far too tough for us right now. It is a big, nasty hunk of muscle, and will smash us to bits if we get near it. He also has a lightning attack. He is very dangerous. Just stay away from him from now on. Is that him? It is! It's Andre of Astora. We're going to talk to him in a minute. Let's just grab the bonfire up here. And there we go. Let's let the man, the myth, the legend, the greatest character aside only from Solaire, the Sunbro, in the Soul Sea.
Must be a new arrival.
Let's talk.
I'm Andre of Astora. If you require smithing, then speak to me. Most weapons and armor are mighty sturdy indeed, but every hunk of metal has its breaking point. If you notice durability running low, it's time to repair. You can ask a blacksmith like myself, or do it on your own with a grindstone. The nice thing about weapons, they never betray you, so pay them a little respect, eh? There are two types of weapon forging. There's reinforcement and there's ascension. Reinforcement is simple. It strengthens the weapon and nothing more. A simple task for any blacksmith. Hell, you could even do it yourself with a smith box. But ascension's a finer art. It alters a weapon's properties. Ascension is the territory of we blacksmiths. A smith box just won't do the trick. Start out with reinforcement. When that loses its charm, you can consider ascension. As you've noticed, this land is flush with the mad and wicked. You won't make it through the night without employing my services. You can forge armor. Forging armor is even whether you forge weapons or armor but nobody wants to see you go hollow. So whatever you do, you'd better do it well. But nobody wants to, so whatever.
Andre of Astora is a really cool guy. Everybody likes him. He's fantastic, and he's awesome. Let's go to what weapons he has. Titanite Shard. That is what you're going to need to upgrade your weapon to +5. Eventually we can get up to +15, but just Titanite Shards in this early part of the game, that's how you get up to +5. I'm just going to buy a couple right now. The weapon, armor, smith box, and repair box are all items that you need to do a sort of DIY blacksmith that you can do at any bonfire. So you can repair weapons, you can reinforce weapons and armor, just as he said. The Crest of Artorias is a key for a door that we're not going to go through right now, so we'll talk about it when we buy it. This is just standard ammunition. You know, it's pretty simple. Let's talk about these weapons, though. The longsword is a surprisingly great weapon. I think the knight starts out with this, and it has an excellent moveset. It's great for PvP. All around an excellent starting weapon. The broadsword is not as good. Because I think the moveset is not quite there. I think the same thing can be said about the long and broadswords in DS2. The bastard sword is an amazing weapon. You can spend the whole game playing the bastard sword. It does a pretty damn good amount of damage, especially if you reinforce it with lightning or fire later on in the game. So you can use this for a heck of a long time. If you're looking for a really good weapon to start out your game with, you can start with the bastard sword. The battle axe, I think the bandit starts with. It's kind of a meh weapon. Not really much there. I just don't think that it's not the damage is bad. I just don't think the moveset is quite there. The swords have a longer reach, a big slash, a big arc in front of you that does damage. The battle axe is okay. It's not gonna, you're not gonna be handicapped with it or anything. It's just not great. The war pick, on the other hand, I think you kind of would be handicapped with. This isn't a terribly good weapon. I don't think that the the moveset is especially good. I wouldn't go with this one. The Cestus is for challenge builds only. This is if you actually want to get up close with a person and punch them. I don't really like the whole dual wielding thing and the power stancing thing in Dark Souls 2, but the one thing that it does work is with a fist weapon. The fist weapons are great with that. However, in this game you can't actually do a power stance or anything, so you're just going to be punching with your fist. It's really only for a specialty challenge build. You notice the parameter bonuses also suck at C and C, and I don't think it gets much better than that. So you'd really be hurting yourself with one of these things. Pike, pretty darn good starting spear. Not as good as the one I'm going to show you later on, though. Large leather shield, pretty pathetic shield, especially compared to the dragon one we just got. Tower kite shield, it's alright. You know, nothing special about it. Same with the Caduceus shield. And that's about it. So this is where you want to go for all your smithing needs. I'm going to upgrade my S-Talk just a little bit. Classic line. And I think I am going to use my Soul of a Proud Knight here to upgrade it to +2, because we have a bit of a fatty that we need to take care of later. And get a couple of more of these. And let's go unlock the elevator back to Firelink Shrine. But first of all, I do want to go talk to the man, the myth, the legend, the greatest warrior in the entire Souls series, a true hero of the mightiest of divine worth, a man of truly epic greatness, a person whose name I am not worthy to mention, but we're going to talk to him anyway. His name is Sigmire of Katarina. Sigmire means the victory master, and he truly is that. Riveting.
Oh, forgive me. I was absorbed in thought. I am Siegmeyer of Katarina. Quite honestly, I've run flat up against a wall, or a gate, I should say. The thing just won't budge, no matter how long I wait. And oh, have I waited. So here I sit, in quite a pickle, weighing my options, so to speak. Still closed. Still closed. Still closed. Still.
You can just barely see his face through the slit in his armor. Look at this armor. Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, we'll leave him to the heroic vicissitudes of fate, or whatever. And this is what we're trying to do in the first area of the game. This place is called Sen's Fortress, and it is actually the pathway, if we can just barely on the outer edge of what we're looking at see, is the pathway to up there, the city of the gods and the home of Lord Gwyn, which we need to reach. In order to open the gates, we need to ring both of those bells of awakening. That's what the purpose of that is. If we open both of those up, the gates will open, and we can get in. That's what we're going to do now, to try to get to the city of the gods and see what the gods have been up to in this flagging age of fire. But first, we need to go take care of a big armored dude who is guarding the path back to Firelink Shrine. These places are knit so tightly together. It's amazing. Notice the S-Stock also has a C scaling in Dex. It's also, I think it's going to get better too. I think it gets up to an A eventually, but at least a B. So let's pop up there and say, whoa, look at this guy. Wow. Really? Really? The giant The Giant's Armor and the Channeler's Waistcloth. Okay, that's fine. I like the armor that this guy starts out with. It's the Bandit's armor looks pretty cool. By the way, I had to take my gloves off in order to use the S-Talk with a fast roll. Just look to how you want to modify your armor in order to get that roll you may need. This is a place known as the Undead Parish, and as you might expect by parish, there is a church of sorts here that we're about to go into. This kind of looks like an altar to me. I love this area. The Undead Parish is actually my second favorite area in the game, outside of the painted world of Ariamis. This whole area looks really cool. I love the dome kind of there. I forget what... I used to know the name of all of the places in a church, like the apse and the... Is it the apse? I've got to forget now. But that's a church up there. Septum. Is that another name? But I've forgotten them all. There are 3 hollow warriors here. They're not too much of a challenge. Guy right as a crossbow. Let's give him the old backstab. Our weapon is considerably upgraded now. Ooh, we got a crossbow. Tragically, the S-Stock does not have the kick attack. The forward in R1 does some little special duelist's move, but fortunately these guys are fairly easy to parry. There we go. Oppa! Okay. Now immediately to our right is a big, heavy, armored bastard, about twice the size of a regular man, and he will not go down without a fight. But directly across from us, you can actually see there, is the elevator door that will lead back to Firelink Shrine. Everything is circular. Everything is related. Now the mace that he's using is far bigger and heavier than the mace that we can get. Tragically, the regular mace in this game is kind of a bitch to get to. I mean, it's not super hard or anything, but it should just be sold by Andre, to be honest. It's kind of far away. It's way down in the catacombs if you're not starting out as a cleric. You'll notice, by the way, he's using a tower shield, the biggest and heaviest of the shields. This guy is a Knight of Berenice, or Knight of Berenike, or Knight of Berenice, I've heard it also say. So, I mean, I don't know exactly what they... we're going to learn more about them later when we get their armor, but there are a couple more of these guys wandering around the city. And here is that mother and child motif again. This is the more common version of it that we're going to see, you know, apart from the one at Firelink Shrine. We'll take a look there. See the little baby in the mother's arms. And some weird pictograph on the wall there. Pictograph isn't the right word, I think, but can't quite make out what it is. And there's an altar here, obviously, and on here we have a Firekeeper soul. So we're going to pop down to Firelink Shrine, open up this shortcut, and there's sort of an embarrassment of riches of where to go next. I'm not quite sure where I want to go, because there's so much stuff to do and to get. But I think I'm going to finish up with the Undead Parish before continuing on. We now have the ability to go back to the Undead Asylum and do some things there. Now that this elevator is unlocked and we can do the sort of drop... I'll show that in another episode, how to do it. Let's just pop back down here, and we will talk... Why am I talking in slow motion? We're going to talk to good old-fashioned Firekeeper. We go here, reinforce Estus Flask. Use Firekeeper Soul to do that. Yes, we will. And now we have an Estus Flask +1 that is going to give us far more HP upgrade than we had before. Now, I think what I'm going to do now is just go back to the Undead Parish, because I'm going to finish off the Undead Parish and then go and start the normal route with going through that area from Firelink Shrine. But there is something that you really want... There's a really cool weapon that I want to show you that's a great early game weapon, especially if you're new to the game, called the Claymore, that you really can't get without extraordinary effort the other way. If you go the other way, it becomes much harder to get the Claymore, so I want to show you this way in order to get it. But before we do that, I think I'm going to close out this episode by popping back, all the way back into the Darkroot Garden, where I want to show a few more things, because it's kind of a production to get through the Undead Parish. I don't think we'll have enough time to make this. See you guys ever spawn, which is kind of bullcrap. I didn't rest at a bonfire, but going through that transition, that elevator is essentially a loading screen, so it counts, which is kind of crummy. I don't like that. Alrighty. Let's just pop down here. And I'm going to show you how to get some really good early game armor and a pretty damn good early game weapon, the best spear weapon you can get early on, called the Partisan. And you will also be able to get... Don't jump on me, don't jump on me, don't jump on me. Okay. I lucked out there. And you'll also be able to get a ring, which is of some usefulness. So let us pop back here. And I'm actually going to equip a better shield. As 100% physical on these guys is very good. You guys are still pretty tough. It took my entire endurance bar to get them down. If you take a look here, by the way, with the S-Stock, it is a thrusting sword. If you hold L1 and hold up your shield like this, and press R1, you can attack through the shield. So that makes this extra useful. Because we still have the total protection of the shield, but we can attack through it. So that makes it amazingly good. Now let us find this jerk here. Knock off, yes. There are two of them here, one that will spring up to our right, and we have to very quickly finish off the one that was running at us straight ahead. And... ooh, I got 2 hits there. Excellent. These guys also drop some very interesting items, and I'm going to talk about in just a second after I kill this guy. These guys also have a grab attack. That's why I try not to get too close to them. Good, we got a purple and a blooming. The moss clumps, the purple moss clump, that will heal you if you are poisoned, and the blooming will heal you if you are toxic. So these are very useful items to come and farm here. There's a soul item back here. Don't miss this. Don't go down here and then not turn around and miss this. I'm not all that crazy about this section of the game. About this level. I think it looks kind of okay. You notice way up there, let's take a look here, that's actually the boss of this area, the Moonlight Butterfly. It's cool that you can kind of see the boss from down here. In other games, there's kind of a skybox that's just pretty pictures. You can't really see anything with it, but in Dark Souls, you pretty much go anywhere. And that's the boss of this area, and it's so beautiful, and not all that dangerous, to be honest. If we go here, this is actually a useful message, because it is telling us that there's a very real illusory wall ahead. You can go to this bonfire here, although I'm not going to light it, because I don't really think I need to. This door we can't get through without that Crest of Artoria, so we need 20,000 souls in order to get in there. When I was first playing this game and it said 20,000, I thought that was impossible. How could you ever get 20,000 souls? Because I was barely struggling to get a few hundred at the time, but trust me, you can get it. You can get it pretty quickly, too, but we don't really need to go in there just yet. Let's pop down here. Immediately to our right, there is a trap. That is just a soul item. Don't get it, because there are enemies that will run out every time you pass by here if you go and get that item. Don't bother with it. This is something I don't like. There's a fog wall here, so you think, well, is there a boss? No, there's no boss through here. It's really stupid that they occasionally put boss walls in places where there are no bosses, just to kind of trip you up. If you head in here, things are pretty quiet in terms of enemies. They're kind of waiting to spring you with a little trap before attacking, but immediately break left, and you'll notice that one is going to pop up right behind us. You see where that clump of grass is? Like, I think, is he right here? I think so. I think that's, whoa, no, whoops. I was wrong. He was over there. Okay. He was trying to lure you into that narrow, confined space. Come on. Come on, honey. Come on. There we go. He's dead. And he's trying to lure you into that little defile here to hurt you. But this is where the partisan is. I'm going to show this to you. Look at this nasty bugger here. That's actually an enemy on that tree there. You can't even see him, can you? There he is. Hey, I'm trying to... I can't quite... I love this. This enemy I virtually never fight or encounter in any way. This little insect here. And there's only, I think, like 2 or 3 of him in the entire game. But they managed to make him and code him and put him in this area to make this area more interesting, rather than just tossing some extra hollows in it. That's when you know that you care about your game. When you put these little things in here, these little details that ultimately don't affect anything too much, but are very, very important to you. To create an atmosphere, to create a setting. Now, if you'll head right here, you'll notice something. Look at this. You notice anything odd about this tree here, like how it's moving and everything? Look at it. You can actually attack this tree. Now, I know that Treebeard will kill us if he finds out about this, but don't worry about it. Just destroy this tree guy here. Because we need to get through. This is actually a secret area. I didn't find this until, I think, after I'd rung the Bells of Awakening when I first played this game, I think. And we can go down there in just a second. Well, let's go down here and see. There's another cool enemy down here. Sort of a frog mushroom or something. I don't know. I don't remember what these guys' names are, but they're really weird. Look at them. Yeah, they're so creepy looking. They're kind of gross. This is one of the reasons why I love the S-Talk, because unlike some of the rapiers, which just do thrust on R1 and R2, this one on the R2, one-handed, has a slash that adds versatility. That made it easier to kill this guy. He is so gross and disgusting. It's a horrible mushroom monster. But anyway, don't worry about him. Let's head back up here for a second. And I think this is the only area of the game you see these guys, just like the stick insects. So they added something in what is honestly an optional area of the game with this guy in here for nothing. I think that's great. Just to add to the game. Now you'll notice up there, you can see, just in the distance between them trees, a light. We're going to run over there, grab that, and immediately turn around and run, because we don't want to fuck around with the guys in here. There's more tree guys, and there is, if you can barely make him out. Can you see him? I feel like I'm the guy in Predator. It's out there, just past them trees. You may be able to make him a green armored warrior, but we don't want to fight those guys just yet. We're just going to run up, grab the armor, run away. This is the Elite Knight armor. It's sort of the this game's version of the Faram armor, sort of the cover art armor, the one that is most iconically associated with the game. And we're just going to run past her. I don't think they're going to notice. I don't think they're following us here. Not quickly enough to catch us anyway. Here's another tree. If you go past this guy, he's immediately going to run in place where you just went. And if you try to get passed out, if you try to pass him, he's going to move in front of the space to the last area and lock you in this little zone until you kill him. The tricksy little bastard. And there are also more big giant guys here. We're going to run over here and immediately break right to grab a ring. And then we're going to try to do a jump. And as you know, in any Dark Souls game, that means instant death. So let's hope we don't die, but if we do, it doesn't matter. We don't have many souls. There are guys that are waking up and are beginning to chase us back here, so getting through here with speed is inherent. And there's another guy down here. The Wolf's Ring. Now, let us try this. Oh, no! Oh, fuck. Well, it wasn't the jump that killed us, it was that guy, but it doesn't matter. I think I'm going to end the episode here. In the next one, I think we're going to start going through the Undead Parish. But quickly, I'm just going to show you the ring and the spear that we got. Let's take a look at those. Waiting for this to load. There we go. And the Partisan is a little bit like the what I just said about the S-Talk. Usually just spears just do R1 thrust and R2 thrust. But with this one, ooh, I just heard the bell. Somebody rang the bell. If you do the R2, you get a slash attack with it. So that makes this obviously superior to the wind spear, the spear, or the pike. If you're going to go with a spear class weapon, go with this one here. You can do worse. It's actually pretty darn good. And also to quickly show this, the Wolf's Ring. One of the special rings granted the 4 Knights of Gwyn. The Wolf Ring belongs to Artorius the Abyss Walker. Artorius had an unbendable will of steel and was unmatched with a great sword. This gives us some extra poise. If you'll notice here it says 40 poise, and usually the only way to get poise is by wearing armor, but this is a way to sort of cheat with that and get some poise with a magic ring. So if you have a low poise character or no poise character like my own, this is a good way to get some if you need it. But I've rambled on long enough. I will see you next time.